Pouring blessings into my hands, filling me with all that is good, all that is possible.
Oh yeah, we're back with a beautiful podcast called Harmonic Crowns of the Multiverse. And tonight we have some beautiful guests waiting for you. I want to just hear that little thing right there. It sounds like my daddy. Ooh, he can play that saxophone. Come on, Pamela Cousins.
I choose to have more.
Because we choose to have more. Our guest tonight is Diaz. He calls himself the guide. I know him to be the guide. We're a mass who are willing to be inspired. You hang around him long enough and you will. I mean, it will just be an instant 360. And now, I'm going to introduce our other guest. Hillis Pugh.
Freedom to dream.
Harmony residence architect. The difference in the modalities are both a soft place to land. I've worked with both of these on a personal basis. They both were parts of my healing process, and I'm here to tell you that they are very, very uniquely, artistically powerful. Their modalities are to die for. And I mean, if you're seeking your soul, and that's what you're trying to face, is you and be the best version of yourself. These two men are there on different values to help you with your inner man. And I choose them as being true, authentic guides. We also have my girl, which is going to bring a solo selection. Queen Tierra, Terry Page, is coming right now to laugh you all the way back into the center of your heart. And here we go.
If you believe within your heart, you know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still. Believe from the moment you try. If you believe, I know you will. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic that's inside your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Oh my God, girl, you got me over here tearing up on. Whew,
I was just thinking about this, the movie the other day too.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, my Lord. Okay,
when's your album coming out?
I'm waiting.
What did he say?
You could go ahead.
Yes. That's the emoji.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Alfonso.
So, what do you? I'm going to bless this scenario.
Okay.
Immense gratitude to all that is. That all this transpires for our thriving best and highest good with ease, grace, glory, and the best possible flow. And we have the most benevolent outcomes with the wisdom and inspiration being shared for the thriving best and highest good of all. Thank you, and amen. Namaste.
Awesome.
Namaste. And I allow for creative consciousness to support this vision of this wisdom for those who are watching now or later, for your wisdom to be imparted upon them so they then can begin to remember themselves through you, to allow for this space of remembrance and this connection and reconnection of this soul level conversation to inspire others to live in their truth, to live in their space, to live in their homes, to live in their hearts, to allow for this remembrance to anchor in their heart space and be anchored and connected to you, Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, Creator Consciousness, in all of their beings, in all aspects that they fully walk and represent, knowing that they are not lost, that they are on their path of knowing and self-acceptance and love. And it is so.
It is so.
It is.
Thank you. So the title of this podcast is Infinite Possibilities. I'd like to start off, Al, I'm so used to calling him Alfonso. Al, I would like you to start off because back when we first started, you got me on that infinite possibilities. And once he starts off, then Hillis, I know you'll catch in and the fire starts.
Well, it already started. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fire starter.
Yes. So can we fire start, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Back in the day, so I'm going to be 70 years old this coming November.
What?
Yeah.
You mean 70 years young?
Yeah, okay, 70 years young.
Oh.
I would never believe that.
No.
But the first 40 years of my life, I lived through ego. I had low self-esteem and low self-worth. And because I had that, what I eventually figured out is I had low self-love. So I had an 8-block city block ego. I mean, it was huge. I was able to force things to happen, but it was not coming from my heart. And when I woke up in my early 40s and I started to realize that I didn't have the self-love for myself, once I understood that and I started practicing self-love, my whole life started going down a whole different road. The trajectory just radically changed. It shifted for me. The reason I'm telling you this is most of humanity right now, people say there's different phrases. They're unconscious, they're asleep, they're functioning from ego, whatever phrase you want to use. But what I've recognized is that very little bit of humanity is coming from their heart. And the thing about that is we came with the wisdom. We were born with the wisdom. We were entrenched with the wisdom within our heart. I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm not talking about information. I'm not talking about data. I'm talking about innate wisdom.
Yes.
And we all came with it, but we get distracted by life and our external reality, and then we move away from our heart, and we look outward for resources, for answers, for we just look outside of ourselves. So anyway, so going back to me, so in my early 40s when I started realizing that I had the innate wisdom, and here's the thing, guys. I want you to understand this. The best anyone or anything can do for you is to guide you to remember the answers you already have. Any book, any scripture, any person, any external reality, any experience, any scenario, any situation, anything. The best anything or anyone could do for you is to guide you to remember. And we're always being guided. Every moment we're being guided. Remember. If something derogatory, something negative happens to you, it's a scenario that's guiding you to remember something within you. And if it's a positive or a success, it's guiding you to remember something.
Absolutely.
But most people, they all look at life and say, "This is how life is. This is normal. These are the cards I was dealt with." But the thing is, we're always being guided to remember. So I'm going back to my early 40s. When I understood that, then I realized that anything and everything is possible. Because we already have, why would the creator of all creation put us here to struggle?
He did.
Why would the creator put us here to just barely get by?
No.
No, we are here to flourish. We are here to thrive. But the fact, but humanity, most of humanity is looking outward for the handout, but they're looking outside of themselves. And when you understand that you have the ability already within, we already came with the answers. We already came with the ability to thrive. We came here to do all that, to flourish. But yet, humanity tends to look outside of themselves, and that's unfortunate. But that's what I tried. That's what I am doing. I guide people to remember their innate wisdom. And what makes me different from everybody else, I don't tell people what to do or how to be. I guide them to remember the answers that they already have. I let everybody else. I let all the books, the seminars, the workshops, the conferences, the teachers, the masters, the gurus, all that. I let them all tell people what to do and how to be. But what makes me different is I guide them to remember the answers they already have.
That's why you and Hillis are here today, because both
I love that. Yeah.
That's soft place to land. Now, Hillis is the same way. He doesn't know how to be. This man is magic. If I could pay for him every week, I'd pay for him every week. If I could pay for you every week, I'd pay for you every week. Both of y'all is just magic. But both of you are magic in a different capacity.
Yeah.
See, Hillis is magic in a long-term capacity. You're like at the emergency room, Al. You understand what I'm saying? You at the emergency room.
On call. Yeah.
Yes, and when that emergency hit, boy, you got that boom right there. Hillis is that long-term, make you think, homework kind of woo. And then you got to go back. Yeah, I learned a lot. Let me see. How can I, and each one of the masters I've worked with has a different modality, and I have gathered all of them.
Yeah. Well, I can say that, Al, what you have spoken is very true.
Yes.
Where we are, as a collective, as humanity, we're at the precipice of this juncture of transformation. But yet we have to remember that when we chose to come here, we chose to forget everything.
Absolutely.
This is a school, that this planet is a school.
Yeah.
And if we had the Cliff Notes or the teacher's manual or the teacher's book, what would be the point of our own personal evolution? Right. And in this space of remembering, we go through the trauma, we go through the pain, we go through the suffering, we go through survival mode, we go through all these things. As I now call it, them collectively, a catalyst. So these catalyst points, these catalyst anchors allow for us to evolve, change, transform. Be our own, as you said earlier, Pamela, is the fire. So we become our own personal fire. We become our own personal transformation. We become our own tools.
Yes.
Of remembrance, in the space of
Absolutely.
remembering who we are, what we do, what our purpose and missions are collectively. And it's in this collective space that we begin to be reflective of each other, become mirrors of each other, and then we then can see how does one individual reflect upon me, and how can I begin to live a better life? How can I begin to have better, be better, experience better, experience more? All of these things. But it's in this space of essence that through all of this, we begin to accept self and not become someone else. And that's the key here. We all are connected to creative consciousness. We all have our own path. We all have our own individual, unique frequency. And it's our unique frequency that allows us to express ourselves and be ourselves and just allow their own personal growth and development. So I mean, that's where I feel we're going. I mean, like I mentioned before on a previous episode with you, that collectively we're on fourth density. We got to get rid of our stuff before we can move into the space of unconditional love. A lot of people are struggling with that right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not, but I'm gonna tell you. I watched it yesterday, and I was telling. I will leave all this yet. This ain't nothing. But I was walking yesterday at my, what would they say, job, but it's a program name to it, because everything is a program that you wrote for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and you program every time you come to an aha moment. You break that program, then you go to another program, then you break that program, you go to another. But sometimes some people stay in that program and they say, this can't be, because you're supposed to be this way and that way. That's looking outside yourself. But
Exactly.
like they told me yesterday, do you know that everything that you're around is you? And I said, yes. And they said, look around your garden. What do you see? And I said, beauty. And they said, so, okay. Is there any distortion? Is there any distortions anywhere? And it was like a 8-hour thing. They was taking me on, making me look at stuff. And I was like, okay. I was picking up things, writing it down. Okay, let's work on this. Let's work on this. So while I'm at work, I'm working for the man, but I'm also working for the spirit, because I'm using that time that they think they got my mind. I already know their routine. I'm using their routine to use my routine while I'm doing their routine. Give me 5, Terry.
I want to.
No, I get it. I understand that.
Al said something.
I would like to segue from what Hillis said just a moment ago, that we come here veiled. So I'm going to throw a question out, and I am going to follow it up. Why would we come here? Okay, let me rephrase that question. Why would we allow ourselves to be veiled and come here on this journey to go through all the challenges or opportunities or blessings? And the one word that I have is, or a couple of words, is we're warriors. We knew what we're going to come through. We knew what was going to happen. And we even challenged the creator and said, veil us. So we don't know what we have. We don't know our true ability. We don't know how gifted we are. Veil us, because we're going to accept this challenge or this opportunity, this blessing, because we're warriors. And I don't let people, I don't even let them, I don't let my clients use the word survivors or surviving anymore. Because we're warriors. We came here knowing what we're going to be going through. We knew. And that means that we're gifted. That means we have the ability to overcome. That means, going back to the topic of this session, infinite possibilities. When we understand that we're warriors and that we're gifted and we have the ability, then everything opens up for us.
Yes, we write our script. We write our script. And sometimes you have to really watch. Sometimes parts of day or parts of any period, you are like a power zone. soon as you think something, it happens. Soon as you say something, it happens. So you have to really critique. And I said this before on my podcast. We are the communication directors for every part of our ship. This
Absolutely.
this body right
Absolutely.
here, this body right here is our spaceship. Okay? So we wake up in the morning, if there's something that's hurting, or if we're sleeping and something is hurting, we're our own healer. We can send our own energy, and sometimes your your hacking mechanism that you created to hack you will hack you when they see a weakness in your system and try to hack you and make you think that what you're doing is not working. But at that time, you have to strengthen your hacking by saying, I see your little butt over there worming around. Uh-huh. Zap, 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 go away. And then after you zap that little thing over there, you laugh at them. And then you rewrite it and say, okay, I see that there's a weakness in how I respond when people when I walk in a room and the atmosphere changes. It affects me if this certain person acts. You have to rewrite the script and say, is there anything worth me reacting to anything when I walk in this room when I know I'm solidified? Yeah. So you literally have to rewrite every single segment, and it's a constant layer of layers, and there's only lessons and events.
Yeah.
Because, and perceptions.
One event could bring many lessons, and one lesson could bring many events.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's no good, there's no bad. There's just lessons and events.
Right, and in shifts in perception, also shifts everything. It can appear one way. The people are doing this thing, that thing.
That's that hack mechanism.
You know what? You know what?
To make you stronger. That's why I said superhero school.
Yeah.
We knew what we was going through. And I keep saying, why is nobody tripping on the most expensive technology ever? And it's the human man, the human body. Because why are they trying to copy us? If we're not worth anything, they done poisoned our food, our water, our atmosphere. Why are they trying to kill us? Okay, now I've got your game. I can rewrite that. There's nothing formed against me that shall prosper.
Right.
Yeah.
I send all the negativity back to the sender with love and appreciation. You don't send it back with hatred, you send it back with love and appreciation. So
exactly. Absolutely. And you say when something is confronting you, you can immediately, whatever that perception, say, oh, what am I perceiving this to be?
Yes.
And then turn that right around and say, you know what? These people love me. They help me get on my way to my greatness. Thank you, Jesus, right? Okay, right?
I do that all the time.
And I just love them. Thank you so much for showing up where I positioned them in this stage play to inspire me to get my ass in gear. Thank you.
Because it's all the catalyst. It's all to help us to remember. It's all the catalyst in this space.
They're here to help us remember.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, going back to the topic, the subject, infinite possibilities. We talk about infinite possibilities. And when we think of this, people often think about the Akashic records. People often talk about timelines. People often talk about choices and perceptions and this and that. All these things, all these avenues of what a possibility is.
And it's so much more simpler.
Yeah, possibility is consciousness.
Yes, it's so much
possibility is just whatever you perceive your conscious thought to be. Whatever you focus on is your possibility. Granted, we think about missed opportunities, or we think about, oh, well, if I would, shoulda, woulda, coulda, that was a possibility. But the thing is, it doesn't matter because that's not your focus. That's not your intent. When we focus on the outcome of our heart's desire, that's the possibility. When we begin to remember our heart and soul and what we are meant to do, that's the possibility. Everything else becomes a distraction.
Yeah.
It's the distraction to either one, help us learn, help us grow, help us evolve, but it's all a distraction when we sit and focus, because what did, not to name drop or anything, but when we have the masters like Jesus and Buddha and Mary and all these people, it's like, oh yeah, you can do things just like I, and even greater. I'm like, well, what does that even mean? So when you step into your path and you begin to understand what it is that you're able to do, because for a while people have labeled psychics and healers, special people, or you're gifted, or you're talented. No, you can do this just like I can. You can tap into this energetic source to get information just like I can. You can tap into this energetic source to refine your body. You can tap into the energetic source to do all things. And this is the infinite space of possibility. And this is where we live when we get into, as you quietly and beautifully opened up the segment, Terry was saying, if you believe in yourself. I mean, when you believe in yourself, all of this is possible. All of this is just the tip of knowing and tapping into what's already here. And when people get out of the old belief system and get into the body system, the energetic system of the nervous system, the meridian system, the layers of the auric field, the chakras, when you tap into your energetic fields in such a new way, the possibilities begin to open up, because it just starts with consciousness and your way of faith, and what and how you believe.
There's a lot of illusion too around.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it illusion.
No, I haven't said what illusion is around. I said there is a lot of illusion around belief. A lot of illusion around belief. And I'm learning now, because, I was raised 7 years in my family generation, Pentecostal Church of God in Christ, went to Catholic schools and Christian schools. And then, walking into all the different layers, because even though I was in there, I was always studying all kinds of stuff. I was studying Italy. I was studying France. I was studying her astrology. But I got whooped by my parents for studying astrology. So yeah. So what I'm saying is that once you die 7 legal times on paper, and you walk out the hospital, and this year I'll be 63. So once you die that many times and you remember,
and
you just know that nobody can tell you anything about whatever. It's you. You have to go in it. And I found the question to ask your soul, show me how to be authentically in a relationship with my soul. I want to be in the most authentic relationship with my soul. What does it take? Show me, universe, show me. You got to get rid of the labels of this and that.
This thing and that thing.
People be like labeling stuff all the time. And it's just a distraction to the densities of vibrations when you haven't put in a daily practice, a daily prayer time, a daily meditation. Because if you daily put into your spiritual aspect, it will start working for you, and a lot of people say, oh, you don't got to do all that. You don't got to meditate every day. You don't got to, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. No, you do you. And as long as I'm advancing to where I'm seeking to disappear to the levels I was used to disappearing, and other lives I used to disappear, and this life, I know that I can do it, because why? My father's sister that they disowned turned into a green mist. And I'm just finding out. Well, I found out about it when I was younger, but they didn't tell me everything. And now I'm finding out about they rejected her and all this. And I'm like, I grew up being rejected. Maybe, you know, just maybe. I already know a lot of my other lives, but maybe she might be I'm gonna read her reincarnate. Who knows? I don't know, but I know that the gift is there, that I can vanish. And there are times I know that I'm doing it already. And I walk up on people that got cloaking mechanisms, and they don't even know they got cloaking mechanisms. And I say, "Oh, say it." I walk by and they speak to me, and I say, "Oh, well, you know, you were cloaked, so I didn't want to bother you."
I've done that a few times.
It's a spiritual conversation, which is cool because you can't talk to everybody about that stuff.
You know, I've done that a few times. I've gone invisible on people.
Yeah, a lot. I'll be showing my phone and be up to you don't even see my face. I'll be in the traffic and people be coming over trying to hit me because I'm invisible. They can't see me. So I have to react. One of my shamans say I stopped driving when I became a shaman because I'm like, I'm not gonna stop driving, bro.
Going back to infinite possibilities, something that you triggered, Pamela, in regards to infinite possibilities. When humanity can understand that every word, every feeling, every emotion, every thought, every perception,
yes,
is as powerful as a prayer.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We're praying
Absolutely.
in every moment of our lives. We are praying. With our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, our spoken words, our perceptions, we are praying. Prayer is not more powerful than those. They're all equal. And when humanity understands that, well, guess what? Their lives will transmute. Their lives will transform to something that they desire or require in life. And rather than hoping, okay, and here's a couple of mantras I'm going to share with you. You know, I trust beyond hope and I know beyond faith. That's how I function for the last 20 plus years. And things have worked out for me because of those two mantras. So instead of hoping that things are going to work out, what you speak of, what you think of, what you feel, what your emotions, what your perceptions are, those are just as powerful as prayer. And then we go back to infinite possibilities. That's how you create infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
When we understand in every moment we're that powerful, we're that influential, not only in our own lives, but in the collective around us also.
Yeah.
I
was saying that. I was saying that everywhere I'm going is changing now. I mean, I've laid the footwork out and Hillis. Tiara, I've laid the footwork. I was telling her that today. I said peace has found me. Because I've laid the footwork, I've laid the energetic grids to keep me at peace wherever I'm at. And if I'm not at peace there, I remove myself quickly.
Or you transmute the situation.
Or I transmute the situation. Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. But
exactly.
if it's something that needs more than a 1 day period and I'm gonna have to go back, I usually go through and every day I have prayers that I do every day, you know, contract cutting, court cutting, the whole nine. So with that being said, like they say, if you do affirmations 21 days, it'll start to change your life. That is so true. I started affirmations a long time ago, but I used to write affirmations when I was doing my chef jobs. That's what I did every day is I would write on my breaks, I would write. They would say write 3 times, then write 6 times, then write 9 times. That's what I would do. That one affirmation 3 times, 6 times, and then 9 times. And the next day, come back with the next affirmation,
Pamela, so check this out.
Huh?
You just sent out a prayer that takes 21 days to shift your life. Why can't it happen in that moment?
It can, but for the people that need help.
But why are you stating it takes 21 days? To me, that's a fallacy. we get to dictate to our lives rather than life dictating to us.
No, I said that's what they say, not what I say. I said that's what they say when they advertise affirmations. They usually say, if you do this for 21 days. I say I don't say that. I say that's what
Okay, my apologies.
Right. And
That's
yeah,
what
you know why they say that?
say.
They say that because, like
Not
everything,
that.
you need time to reprogram
The
yourself.
subconscious mind.
Exactly. And
Subconscious
Joe
mind. If you
Dispenza,
believe in the subconscious,
yeah, Joe
if you
Dispenza,
believe in the
To
subconscious,
believe in the
if
subconscious.
you believe in the subconscious, right? That's just
because the
another label.
That's
subconscious,
another.
It's
right?
another label. It's another illusion.
Yeah,
But you
the
gotta go from layer
subconscious
to layer.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, subconscious mind is what I would call the body, the
Yes.
sentient aspects of your body,
Yeah.
the subconscious, meaning that you don't have to think about it. They're autonomous, meaning that they run, they are programmed to do what they're supposed to do, regardless. You know, when you're awake, when you're sleeping, your body does what it's supposed to do. But before I dive, and actually I'm gonna come back to this. Before I dive off into this, I want to go back because it was something really important that you said earlier, and that's about labels, and this kind of ties into that, and how we as a culture, individual cultures, and as a collective, in order for us to understand aspects of humanity, aspects of ourselves, aspects of society, we have to label everything to digest it. Because we put it in boxes, we put it in pockets, we put it in envelopes, we put it on paper, we put it on whatever media or medium that we want. So that way it makes it easier for us to understand. But why? Why do we need something that's easy for us to understand? Like we as adults left kindergarten, grade school years ago. Why are we still acting like we're still in second, third, fourth,
And
fifth
we need a bunch
grade?
of Pussy notes.
And then when you get to high school and college, you know,
Alex
you
like
have
that one.
you have certain people who have these, I don't want this on what I can think of, but elite tendencies, so to speak, to put it loosely, okay? To where they have these egoic tendencies. It's like, I'm better than you because I've done this, I've done this, I've done this.
Yeah.
Well, you've done these things, but you're still acting like you're two.
2 years old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you have a life lived experience, I mean, I've been a shaman's assistant for 3 years. I've lived life. I've seen life. I've seen the lives of others through their permission of perception of working with them. So
Mhm.
when you have these labels of life to make it easier to digest and experience, who are you doing the favor for? Who, I mean, why make it easier? Because when you're able to process the wisdom that has come through the experience, through the subconscious mind, through the traumatic space, being that catalytic energy, who are you serving by dumbing it down? Just
Exactly.
allow it to be what it is.
We ain't
The
at the center
experience.
right in this world right now where we need anybody to dumb anything down. You know, that's why I just feel like a lot of things right now are about women this and women that, and then there are some things that are about women are this and that, but it's another label too, and I get it, and then I don't get it because we're all suffering at a certain perception because we can't leave yet. So at a certain perception, we're still suffering. You understand?
Collectively, yeah.
Yeah. And the more that we join together and do massive meditations without all this charging each other and you got to pay to get in, hallelujah, and all that, the more we start sacrificing our time to come together in power zones and do the massive meditations, we send the light out for conjunctiveness to
Let's
the
not
multiverse.
use the word sacrifice though. Let's not use
Yeah,
the word
right. We're
sacrifice.
investing.
Yeah.
We're investing
Yeah,
our
yeah,
time.
no,
You got it.
Investing our time.
Yes.
Let's not sacrifice anything.
We erase that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are investing in each other, and we're investing in the whole multiverse.
Humanity. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and humanity.
Yes. Because the people think, like Al was saying, why should it take that long? It shouldn't. But everybody's so on their own ego trip that they don't want to come together and just get this thing done. Let's just all walk off our jobs tonight, and we'll all come back on here tomorrow at 7 a.m. and do a massive meditation, and we'll all be gone. How many people you think would show up?
None, because people live in fear.
Right.
And that's the space that we're collectively changing is
Right.
what are you afraid of? I mean, granted, there are spaces where we have to have the quote unquote survival tools, money, home, place, car, all that stuff.
Or thriving tools. Thriving tools. Thriving.
We actually did that in a
Thriving
number,
tools.
you would shift a whole magnitude of dimensions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just, you know what? I'm giving it to you like I'm seeing it. I've been really and I'm sure all of us are getting these remembrances. I've been really, seeing the old technology in us, ourselves, even me. And I think, oh my God, I got $500 and I can't even think it into the bank. I got to drive all the way to the bank, put my number in, and all that before I can even put any money in my account so I can buy this Amazon package. Such old technology, such policy, so much.
Well, see, don't even get me started on that. Because
that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Well, no, because my first business, I just to show you how far ahead of time I was.
Okay.
My first business was an online bartering system.
Okay.
And obviously, now probably would be a good time to relaunch that, but it didn't do so well because people say, "Oh, well, I love money so much. Why would I barter or exchange my services or products or goods?" I'm like, why not? And so people now are in the space of, oh, let's exchange energy or let's exchange dialogue. Let's exchange. Well, let's exchange.
We're doing that
right now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And people are in the space of massaging the intellectual concept of this.
Oh, I
say massaging the intellectual concept because the collective isn't ready for this concept of meeting of the minds, the exchanging of the space, and allowing that to be nurtured in a way to where it can sustain and help everyone.
Al, put some love on that, please, for me.
When humanity understands, okay, so most of humanity hits a ceiling, a glass ceiling, and they can't get above it. No matter what they do, affirmations, read all kinds of books, they go to workshops, go to conferences, they try to meditate, they pray, they delve in and they keep hitting the ceiling. When you truly, truly love yourself, you get down to the trauma that's at that ceiling. If you do not resolve that trauma, and it can happen at birth, it can happen at 3 years old, it can happen at 10 years old, it can happen at 20 years old. If you do not resolve that trauma, you will keep hitting that ceiling over and over and over again. And then to get to that point, to understand that people have traumas, and they think that's normal. They think that's how their life is. This is how all these repeated patterns over and over. And
say that one more time. Please say that one more time, because right there, you about to help somebody. You about to help somebody. I want you to repeat what you just said. Please. You about to help somebody. Say it again.
So you have to love yourself enough to realize that you have a trauma that's holding you back. Because otherwise you'll repeat the patterns over. You'll get into the same relationship with a different name. You'll have $1,000 in your bank account and next week you're broke. All those patterns that keep happening over and over is because there's an original trauma that happened. But to understand that trauma, to realize you have a trauma, you have to love yourself enough to say, it's time for me to wake up. It's time for me to understand what's going on. Why do I keep repeating this for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years? It's because there's something that happened back when. And when you love yourself enough, you'll remember. And through guidance from other people like yourselves, when you get guide the person to remember, this is what happened. This is what transpired. And then what you do is, and then it comes with self-love. The amount of self-love you have is the amount, it will equate the amount of forgiveness you can give yourself. So if you only love yourself at 40%, you can only forgive 100% of 40%. So the more higher quality of self-love you have, the better the forgiveness. And then when you realize that trauma and you love yourself, to remember, you also have the ability to forgive yourself for putting yourself through all those scenarios.
I love that.
Yeah, that's gold.
I co-sign that 100%.
Yeah,
And I'm going
that's
to
gold.
add to that because as you were speaking of this,
Boy
Al,
is bomb.
what comes up
Bomb.
is the
Yeah.
space of grief, because we have the trauma, we experience trauma. And for those who let go of trauma, the PTSD, whether if it's verbal abuse, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, whatever the trauma that it is, we name it and then we let it go. But then, like you said, we have to love ourselves. And people don't really understand what that looks like.
It doesn't.
And so
And
we go through the process of grief.
I'm
And
gonna
grief
put that
is
on my
not
next podcast, what it looks like to really love yourself. I just printed that out
yeah.
today, and I don't want to go into it because it's too long. But I'm telling you, I told you, Hillis, me and you, we be
I know.
on the same thing. And I'm gonna say something.
But wait, let me finish this
Oh,
thought.
go ahead.
Yeah. And so when we are in the space of letting go of the trauma, people feel that they automatically will jump into love. No, it's a process. From the trauma, you go into grief because you've dealt with this trauma for so long. You go and say, well, why am I so sad? Or why am I in pain? Why am I feeling this way? It's because you're in the space of letting something go that you've been carrying for so long. It's just like when you go into the gym or you're carrying all this baggage and then you finally let it go, your muscles are sore.
Yes.
You have to give yourself grace and time to recover.
Yes.
And then when you give yourself that grace, I'm like, wait, I'm feeling lighter. I feel stronger. Now I can know how it feels to pick myself up because your muscles have the strength to carry you. Your heart, your energy, the wisdom, the experience, all of it, you can now carry yourself because you're not carrying anything else. You're not carrying the baggage of the trauma. You're not carrying the pain. You're not carrying the suffering. You're not carrying the struggle. You're not carrying the identity that you have associated with your whole entire life up to that point.
There it is, the identity.
So from trauma to grief to love.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. That's where we're standing right now. Collectively, we're in a collective grief. Before we can get to love. So next stop on the train, self-love.
Self-love. Absolutely. Woo! This is church right here. Oh, I like this. I like this.
This is the whole church. But I want to address something that both of you, all of you said, even Terry, that sometimes we get to a point where we get to a healing and we think we've tapped in and it's all finished and we just going about our business. So we go and we find people we feel that's, instead of being by ourselves more, we go find people that are distractions. We get caught in these people that we feel are part of that healing process because we just went over a hurdle. we went over this hurdle. So that's one level. But see, instead of when you go over that one hurdle, you got to keep going that next day because you could get 2 or 3 or 4 hurdles in 1 week. And I mean, it is massive remembrance right now. Massive remembrance going on right now. Massive. And so we can't connect ourselves to people because we don't want to be with our pain body. Our pain body is talking and it's saying, oh, go find a distraction so you won't have to think about the pain.
So now, okay, so that's a good point. So you call it pain body, I call it the nervous system.
Okay.
And every
Nervous
traumatic
system.
experience resides in your nervous system. So when you address that traumatic through your nervous system, and that could be your body and your pain body or whatever you want to call it, I call it nervous system. As soon as you address that trauma or the whatever scenario that is, it's gone. If it keeps coming back, you haven't really let it go. You haven't healed it. You haven't forgiven it. You have whatever, released it. If it keeps coming back, there's something in that nervous system that's bringing it back because you magnetize things to you from your nervous system.
Well, I'm having a situation like that right now because I paid to have spiritual surgery, and this one issue just keep coming back. And I know that I'm doing the right things. I'm eating right. I'm exercising. So something is bringing this thing back to me. And I keep, I don't want to bring it up tonight because I'm not here to, go through a session, but it's, I feel, and I've learned this about my gifts is that I don't only pick up me, I pick up the collective. So I believe that there's a collective of women and men that are going through diverticulitis. And I want to bring this on here so we can address it all together, because that means if I'm healed and I know that I'm healed and I paid some really good healers that's been on this podcast, and I know it's worked for me and I know that I've done the work, then there's nothing wrong with me. I'm already healed, period. But it's the collective that is going through it because we're not mentioning it. We're hiding behind it, or not. We're just not mentioning it. But there are people that's going to watch this podcast and they're going through diverticulitis. And I'm going to explain what it is. Your lower intestines either swells up and starts to have little pockets where it has food that collects in there, and then it gets infected, gives you a fever, or you feel like, you're swollen, you can't use the bathroom, you're constipated, or whatever the case may be. Now, most of the time they want to put you on antibiotics. They want to, they told me that they was going to cut my lower intestines out and reconnect it to my anus, which I researched the whole thing, and there's 3 or 4 surgeries before they get to that. So I'd be in a colostomy bag. No, the universe does not want me in a colostomy bag. The universe does not. If I was going to go through all that, all them 7 deaths and everything I've been through, it would already been and happened. That's not going to happen to me. But in the collective, there are people that need healing. And tonight we're going to send out healing to everyone that is suffering with this. I even talked to my son, who's a bishop, and he said one of his church members is going through this. So this is a collective thing. Several people I know that are going through this. This is a collective thing that's been plugged in, like they said in the Matrix, when they plugged in the plug, so they can have this one symptom going around. There's very many symptoms that are going around, not only diverticulitis. There is, sciatic that's going around, neck pain going around. There's certain things that we as a collective of modality leaders, we have modalities and we're leaders. We're not addressing these things. We're not putting it out there, and we're not speaking on it so people can listen and get healed. It's easy. You can heal yourself. You put your hand on the pain and you put it there, and no matter how bad it's hurting, you tell that pain to talk to yourself, talk to me in a language I can understand, and show me what I need to know about me, that I need to correct, that I need to heal, that I need to address. Bring this to me. And let my guides and angels give me the knowledge of what I need to do on that next basis. Sure. In between, you might have to use some herbs or whatever to get rid of, but you can continue to put your hand on that pain and send love and appreciation into that pain. And if we're doing this on a collective basis, and everybody will not be suffering because there's too many people suffering with this, and it's really not a disease. This is something that has been plugged in that is attacking a majority of the multiverse of people in the collective, and it's trying to stop them from thinking positive, because the pain is just, whoo, it's bad. I mean, you be standing up and all of a sudden you're lean over you, and then you can't sleep or you can't go to the bathroom. It's bad. And so when I went to these two healers, I know I had already done work on myself. And then I went to these two different healers and they did work on me. And then all of a sudden it just started getting even worse. And I know that I'm doing the right things. So some said to me tonight, you need to bring that to the collective so that everybody can get on one accord, so we can pray or send love and energy to the intestinal system of the body, so that we can all, the intestines is what our brain, it's the brain, it's the brain. We're the communication directors for every part of our ship. So if a lot of people are suffering from this, we need to address it so that it can be multiply healed through the golden white light, the golden white light. Raphael, sending Raphael in there, to show us. Bring it to our third eye. Bring it to us in our sleep. Bring it to us. Show us what you're saying to the universe about this certain particular label that they have injected into the body, into the cosmos body. Diverticulitis, whatever they want to call this mess.
Pamela, are you healed?
Yes, I believe that I am.
Okay. So instead of the perspective of why is this happening, the suffering, and use your terminology, the suffering that's going on with the collective, how about this perception? And I'm using Clary's word, perception. What if you're becoming aware of these scenarios, or people are coming towards you with you indicated to me as you're healed, that you're the light.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about them. You don't, unless they ask. And that's another thing humanity doesn't do. They don't ask questions.
No.
They just go by their narrow way of thinking down this path, thinking this is how life is. If humanity does not ask, or the individual does not ask questions, and especially if they see the light like yourself, they look at you and they say, wow, their inner spirit's going to read your inner spirit, and they're going to say, there's something about her. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something about her. And then they continue on with their lives. But if they stop for a moment and ask you, then you can share your wisdom. If they don't ask, then it's on them for whatever reason. So maybe, perhaps you're being drawn to all these type of people, if you're healed, because you're the light.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about permission, And it's something I want to touch on, Alfredo, that's very important that you talked about a little bit ago, is the reoccurrence. Why is this reoccurring? Why is this happening all over again? Why? And through my service, my being of service to others, when we have certain traumas, emotions, well, let me rephrase, when we have certain emotions that trigger the reoccurrence of particular traumas, it is us moving through the cosmic layers, the densities of our own awareness and expansion. Because just because we cleared something from our innermost layer doesn't mean that it doesn't exist in the outermost layer. Because everything is in layers. I mean, because everything is a copy of everything. Everything is replicated through everything, through the consciousness, through the actions, through the emotions. There's this replication, this ripple. Because, think of it this way too. You put a drop of water in the ocean, it ripples out. That's the same drop, same frequency, same energy is just in every layer. So this is the aspect of reoccurrence. So when you have it here in the hurt space, that doesn't mean it's not out here in your etheric body. That doesn't mean it's not in your soul star, earth star chakras. It doesn't mean it's not in your meridian system. That doesn't mean it's not in your nervous system. Once you begin to understand how everything is intricately connected, you then can begin to see the delicacy or the delicate wiring of the energetic systems. And then you can gradually understand the reoccurrence and gradually weave through the fields to understand and pull and extract and understand the meaning and how things occur, why they occur, sometimes even reoccur. It is through the internal belief system that we have to allow ourselves to receive the proper energetic nourishment that also translate into the physical nourishment, whether it's food, rest, or hydration that the body is asking for in the space of clearing our fields. Not just energy, not just physical, but everything.
That was good. Give me a second. It's getting dark around here, guys.
What are you talking about? It's already dark around here.
I knew it was coming. I already put my lights on when the daylight was still coming through my window. So like, I don't want to get up and go back there and do that. Usually my son will walk in here and go, "Why the lights out?" And he'll come and put them. But since they're already on, he won't come in here and walk across the camera.
Well, I'm still getting used to my apartment, y'all. You know, it's a lot to do. It's a lot of work to be done, but it sure is beautiful. You know, it's like heaven sent me a gift and I want to share it with you. That's all I can say right now. Thank you very much. Elvis has left the building. Yes, so that was really good medicine.
Yeah.
I just heard from both you collectors of modality magic. We are going to do some magic tonight. It's getting late. I want my guests to get back to their regular life. So I was going to do a meditation, but I was led to ask Al to do a meditation. I had already prepared my neighbor. I said we might get a little loud because my meditations are very loud because I believe in breathing in and out and screaming all that old anxiety out. But we'll do that another time. Al, do you think you can take us through a 10-minute rendition, a 15-minute rendition of a meditation? Is that too long for you?
Can I tell the audience something to do every night and every morning?
Okay.
That'll elevate their self-love.
Yes, sir.
Everybody close their eyes. And just listen to what I'm about to say. And for those of you that are watching this podcast, you can rewind it and listen to the recording again about what I'm about to say. Starting tonight, before you go to bed, this is the last thing you do before you go to bed. Go to a mirror and look inside your left pupil. You can look at your left eye if you want, but it's more powerful if you look inside your left pupil. Because from the energetic body, that's the side that receives, is the left side. Take 3 deep breaths. And then 3 times out loud, say, I honor who you are and what you are. 3 times. Take 3 deep breaths. You're still looking at your left pupil, inside your left pupil. And 3 times say, I love you unconditionally, 3 times. Take three deep breaths and go to bed. And the reason why you do this right before you go to bed is because those are the last words you tell yourself before you fall asleep. And when you fall asleep and when you're sleeping, your ego is not involved anymore. So your body, mind, and spirit are more apt to accept it as truth. As soon as you wake up in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you wash your face, before you go to the bathroom, before you get on with your life, repeat the process again. Look inside your left pupil. Take 3 deep breaths. And then 3 times say, I honor who you are and what you are. 3 deep breaths. And 3 times tell yourself out loud, I love you unconditionally. And then take 3 deep breaths. And then get on with your life. Earlier, it was said that within 21 days that your life will change if you do an affirmation. I guarantee you, if you do this every night and every morning, you will begin to see a shift in your life.
Yes, you will. Mm-hmm.
Mahalo Keakua.
Mahalo.
Thank you guys for being here. I want to say one other thing that I remembered while I was walking. My guides are telling me that I'm watching myself all the time. So why don't I stop watching myself and just flow? And I started laughing, but I thought about it because, we always like to watch ourselves, we always like to watch if we're doing it okay. Are you doing it right? You showing up okay? You making it right? You think, did you say it right? So my guide told me to stop watching myself. Just flow, just be. Stop watching myself. Because I watch myself in trees. I watch myself in rocks. I watch myself through the rain. I watch myself everywhere I go. I'm looking at myself. Said, don't you trust yourself? Don't you trust who you are? So this is a new phase for me. Anyway, let's go out with my beautiful song. Hopefully everything will be Beautiful. Here we
I
go.
choose to have more.
I choose to have more.
More joy in my morning, more peace in my nights, more ease in the hours between. I choose to have more love, love that surrounds me, love that lifts me, love that flows endlessly through me.
I choose to have more abundance, abundance in my body, abundance in my home, abundance in every corner of my life. I choose to have more freedom.
What?
Freedom to move.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I choose to have more beauty, beauty in what I see, beauty in what I feel, beauty in every single moment. I choose to have
Thank you for sharing your time to watch the Harmonic Rounds of the Multiverse. I'm Pamela. I'm your host. And tonight we have with us Al, the guy, Hillis, omni-resident architect. The guide and the architect, you can't go wrong with that. You can build a house, any kind of house you want, with both the guide and the architect leading you down the right roads without having to lead you at all. That is the magic. I love magic because I choose to have more every single day. Yay! Here we go. My father from heaven, Pamela Cousins, blow that horn, baby. All right. Good night and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Don't forget your homework. Al, the guy told you about it. Don't look at your phone before you go in the morning. Go straight to your mirror. Get you a special mirror to do your eye work. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next week. We have some wonderful guests coming, too. It's going to be epic. Love you.
Abundance in my home, abundance in every corner of my life.
I choose to have more freedom.